Thanks, Elon. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you to Papamoa Residents for organising this evening, and thank you all for coming along. So please encourage everyone you know to vote. I'm Dr. Maltby. I was born and raised in Tauranga. My doctorate is actually an engineering doctorate, not a medical doctorate. It's from Cambridge University in England. I've worked overseas in the oil and gas industry, but I've been back in Papamoa since 2004. The Bay of Plenty is a great place. It's one of the best places in the world that I've lived in, and we need to keep it that way. If you'd like to find out more about me, please visit my blog, which is timmaltby.nz. Our rates are too high. All the councils in New Zealand are too expensive, they're inefficient, and they waste our money. So we need to control costs, and we need to make council more efficient. We need less bureaucracy, less compliance, less busy work, lower costs, and lower rates. We need sensible decisions that are affordable. We have to pay for it, so we need to be practical and pragmatic. So we've got a 3% rates increase for this year, and just to clarify, that includes inflation. So the 0.2% quoted earlier is taking inflation off. So we've got 3% this year. That's great. Can we keep that up? Well, who knows? The overall rates income for the Regional Council, which includes general rates and targeted rates, has increased by 190% over the last 10 years. So that's not affordable. If they keep doing that, or if we keep doing that, we can't afford it. We should not be selling the port shares. The port is a strategic asset for the region. It's a mistake. I think it's a mistake to see the port purely as part of an investment portfolio. It's much more than that. It's the vital lifeline for all the orchards, farms, businesses, consumers to the outside world. If the shares are sold overseas, the new owners will only be interested in making maximum profits. They won't be interested in looking after us. So I'd like to see it stay in local hands. Selling the shares, to me, is a very short-sighted decision. Amalgamation, I think, is a red herring. It will not save money. It will not be more efficient. Our rates will go up, not down, and we will lose our local voice. Tauranga City Council wants to dominate the whole region. If they really want more efficiency, why don't they start with Tauranga City? See if they can do that first. I don't think they can. I don't think they know how to make council more efficient. Tauranga wants to get their hands on our port shares. The government wants to use that money for infrastructure. Tauranga wants to dump their debt on the whole of the rest of the region. Well, I say to them, leave our port shares alone. Leave the region alone. Leave our local communities alone. And keep your debt to yourself. We don't want it. Now, we do need to fix the buses. We do need better management. We need better contracts. And the government, and a lot of that is because of the government. A lot of the problems we have is because of the government. So the government has had some very silly restrictions on the council, and some of those have been taken away. For example, councils had to use 44-seater buses. Sorry, small buses, not allowed. Contracts had to be for 9 years. Sorry, can't have shorter contracts. Tauranga City is not allowed to run its own buses, so we have this two-council muddle. You can't, it should be in one responsibility, not two. So the current contract is due to retire. Great opportunity to change things. So let's do it. Let's make some changes. Let's make it work better. Now, I think we need to be more pragmatic about the environment. I do love the environment, but we waste a lot of money on compliance costs rather than getting things done. Too much busy work. Our money should be spent on actually doing things. we can't afford all the nice to haves that people have on their list. We also need to defend councils from central government. Government pushes costs onto councils like a drunken sailor. For example, local water done well has been forced on councils for the benefit of Veolia, which is a large multinational water company. Veolia is going to contract to these council organisations, and is there a step towards privatisation? So National and Labour are both involved in that, and it all started with John Keys and our favourite local politician, Anne Tolley. So thank you, Anne, the gift that keeps on giving. So I've been advocating for 15 years for repeal of the Resource Management Act. That's how I know Ron. I first met Ron when we were proposing to do that. It's a bureaucratic monster. Orchardists pay $30,000 just for a water ball consent. Farmers pay $200,000 to change their land use to dairy. All that to feed the gravy trade. How does that help New Zealand? That money would be better spent creating jobs and helping the environment. Now, is that my signal? It's up. Okay. Well, look, I'd like you to vote for me. I'm practical and pragmatic. I'm an engineer. I think I do a good job. I'd love working for our communities. So thank you, and may the best 5 candidates win. Please vote for Maltby Tim. Right. So I was going to answer question 1, which is about rates caps. Now, rates is a thing, that's been my thing last year and this year. We've got a problem with rates right through the country. Part of the problem is government, bad legislation. Part of the problem is bad management. Part of the problem is bad governance, which is the elected members. It is possible to make huge reductions in costs without actually reducing the level of service. I think as an engineer, I see so much waste. The best option would be for councils and the government to actually manage things better, but they don't seem to want to do that. A rates cap is a very blunt way of trying to force the councils towards better financial management. Unfortunately, what they tend to do, rather than fix things up, they just say, oh, we'll cut that, we're not going to lower our costs, we'll just defer this project and that project. Well, that's very unfortunate. Really, what we need is good management, good governance and good legislation. I'd like to think that the national government would help, but really they're part of the problem, not part of the solution. I just wish government would get out of the way, and I wish we could have some good management and governance in the councils. Thank you.